wannan labarin ma yana peji na 36.
Ita kuma babban labarin wannan jarida shine ainihin labarin da ke gaban jarida shine ta bayyana cewa
ọkwaji Ikenga eziokwu
nwanne m nwoke
Ikechukwu Ndukwe Igbo
mam iji wee mee ka ụbọchị na-aga n'anya ya
ọjọ́ tuntun ní wútẹ́lú nù.
Nation fún ti òwúrọ̀ yìí ibẹ̀ náà ti sọ pé àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ aláṣẹ ìpínlẹ̀ Benue pàṣẹ wípé.
ní gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀ka ní ẹ̀ka ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ní ẹ̀ka ètò ìlera ní ẹ̀ka ètò ààbò.
Hello, it's a warm welcome to Sports Ray, reaching you live on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Give George.
Hello and welcome to NTA Nationwide. I am Juma Yusuf. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad, has ordered the FCT Judicial Service Commission to initiate disciplinary action against Upper Area Court Judge Justice Hussaini Yusuf Baba for issuing direct criminal summons against the Anambra State Abga governorship candidate Chukwuma Soludo. The directive is part of the determination of Justice Muhammad, who is also the Chairman National Judicial Council, to put an end to impunity and misconduct in the judiciary. In an exclusive telephone interview by the NTA, the Director of Information in the National Judicial Commission, Soji Oye, confirmed the directive by the Chief Justice of Nigeria. The Upper Area Court Judge, Justice Hussaini Yusuf Baba, on 23rd August 2021, issued a direct criminal summons against Soludo over alleged perjury, corruption and false asset declaration, which is completely outside the jurisdiction of the Upper Area Court. The Central Bank of Nigeria has refuted a rumor on the social media that, effective from the 13th of September, all deposit money banks, international money transfer operators and members of the public are to convert domiciliary account holdings into Naira. The CBN reiterated that the bank has not contemplated such line of action. Elizabeth Omori reports.
A statement released by Osita Wanisobi, Director Corporate Communications, CBN, the speculation is completely a false narrative aimed at triggering panic in the foreign exchange markets. He says it would be recalled that the bank had previously assured members of the public that there was no plan whatsoever to convert the foreign exchange into the domiciliary accounts of customers into Naira in order to check purported shortage of availability of the United States dollars. Operators of domiciliary accounts and other members of the banking public are therefore advised to completely disregard these fictitious documents and malicious rumors and go about their legitimate foreign exchange transactions. These rumors are only aimed at impugning the integrity of the CBN and activating chaos in the system. The public should note that any circular issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria is posted on its website. CBN warns corporate bodies and members of the public against the unauthorized use of the bank's logo for any purpose whatsoever, as the appropriate authorities have been alerted and culprits will be sanctioned accordingly. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Talking security, the Olu Sector Command of the Proscribed Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, Chidera Nyabuihe, also known as Dragon, has been killed in a gun battle with officers of the Imo State Police Command. A statement signed by the police public relations officer, Michael Abatam, indicates that the incident occurred when officers of the command tactical team, acting on intelligence report, raided major IPOB ASN camps in the state. According to the statement, the criminals were sighted in an isolated, uncompleted building at Amefeke in Olu local government area of Imo State, allegedly planning to resume terror attacks on police formations and government installations in the state. Saturday night, September 11, 2021. Members of the terror group were said to have opened fire on sighting the police operatives, who also returned fire, resulting in the death of 3 of the hoodlums, including the commander of the gang, Dragon. 1 was arrested and others escaped with bullet wounds. Zamfara State Police Command has banned the operations of clutch-oriented motorcycles in 13 out of the 14 local government areas of the state. Jamilu Ibrahim reports that the State Police Commissioner Ayuba Elkanah announced this at a media briefing. He said only Gusau Metropolis is exempted from the new security measures.
As the renewed commitment to combat resurgent banditry and spate of kidnapping in Zamfara State progresses, more measures are being adopted by the security agencies for maximum results. Ban on the operation of motorcycles is the latest measure announced by the Zamfara State Police Command.
Riding of motorcycles that has clutch has been banned in the 13 local government areas of the state. Also, the earlier enforcement of restrictions of motorcycles and tricycles from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and in Gusau local government area from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. is still in force.
Activities of saboteurs are also said to have constituted a great obstacle to the full enforcement of the security measures put in place, especially as they relate to the blockage of petrol and food supply to bandits in their enclaves across the state.
Some unscrupulous elements are using their vehicles to supply petrol and other food items to the bandits in the bush, more especially drivers of golf cars and canters. This practice must stop.
The police commissioner appealed to people in the state to remain law-abiding and to collaborate with the security agencies for the restoration of lasting peace in all parts of the state. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA.
A constructive dialogue by stakeholders with shared experiences, resolutions and recommendations to strengthen the fight against violence against women and girls is the reason behind a one-day interaction of traditional and religious leaders in South Nigeria. Paul Abel reports that taking messages to end gender-based violence to the grassroots, as well as effective implementation of policies, acts and laws, is the thrust of discussions at the summit.
Violence against women and girls has in recent years, especially during the COVID-19 lockdown, been on the rise. Sustaining the fight against this monster from different fronts, which appears in varying forms such as physical, sexual, psychological and economic. The United Nations and European Union Spotlight Initiative assembled these stakeholders to ensure the message is driven home for the desired impact.
The heads of churches, they will now go and step down to the various branches. The traditional rulers, they have a lot of chiefs under them. They'll pass on the message, and like somebody said, go to the grassroots. We believe it will get closer to the people.
Basic interventions that will be useful to the girl child in the village, in schools, in the streets, in homes.
Participants with experiences shared same during a panel discussion.
Across River State, a couple of laws have been passed that supports the rights of women, which if effectively applied, will improve the well-being of women and girls.
The traditional rulers in their various domains will stand up and talk against these harmful practices.
We should be able to inculcate the right things, the right rules to our subjects and to the society in general.
All our guests like this, stop all this reading. If you see the Quran or Islamic stand,
we are going home to educate our people, to make advocacy.
They are hopeful that the recommendations will go beyond the hall to the public if the war against violence against women and girls must end sooner than later. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
A press release from the State House has observed President Buhari's concluding remarks at the meeting with Southeast leaders during his one-day visit to Imo State has been deliberately twisted out of context. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Media, Femi Adesina, the purveyors of disinformation wants Nigerians to believe that the President bluntly told Governor Uzodinma, and I quote, "I will be careful with your future invitations," ascribing different meanings to the phrase, contrary to the context wherein the president spoke during his successful dialogue with leaders of thought from Igbo land. An elated President Buhari made it clear that he was expressly overwhelmed by the reception and galaxy of personalities that traveled from the 5 southeastern states to have a heart-to-heart discussion with him in Owerri, the Imo State capital. His words were clear. He didn't tell me he was going to get the whole Igbo leadership here. So in the future, when he invites me, I will know what to do. But I think he has done what the military didn't like. He has achieved surprise. He has surprised me beyond description. End of quote. Later, in his concluding statement at the same event, the president made reference to his earlier remarks on the surprise action pulled by the governor, which was made on a lighter note. The president's historic visit to Imo State was very successful, and the Igbo leaders who met him shared the same enthusiasm that his coming to the Eastern Heartland would bring peace, foster unity, encourage good and better understanding among the citizenry. Thus, citizens are enjoined to disregard the false information making the rounds, as President Buhari is passionate about peace and unity. Let's now join Adiola in our Lagos studios for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Adiola.
Hello, Jumai. The Nigeria Jubilee Fellow Program for Talented Youths, many believe will meet the yearnings of young Nigerians, especially those in their need of opportunities for self-employment and career development. These were the views of some graduates to the recently launched Nigeria Jubilee Fellow Program. Amaka Owo reports.
Nigeria Jubilee Fellow Program, created by the federal government to tackle unemployment, is a scenario of preparedness meeting opportunity. 27-year-old Francis Okon is a petrochemical engineer who concluded his compulsory National Youth Service Corps months ago. He immediately started a laundry business, but hopes the program will provide a platform to pursue a career in oil and gas sector.
Since the program, we train individuals and place individuals in their area of specialization, and that would be very interesting.
Others like Awak David Etido, who obtained a first class in chemical engineering from a university in Istanbul, Turkey, with an interest in renewable energy, says he will leverage on the opportunity provided by the program.
There's a lot to achieve because this will actually drag, not just about tackling unemployment, but also making sure that youth like me we are all skilled in different aspects.
This category of young school leavers who are near completion of their national service promise to maximize the advantage the Nigeria Jubilee program brings to the table, which includes the chance to meet their dream employers.
The program itself offers myself and every youth out there the opportunity to connect with organizations, companies, mentors, and corporate bodies to build a career, to understand the dynamics of the industries we're intend to walk into.
Over 20,000 youths are expected to benefit from the initiative that will empower them with the capabilities that will make them attractive to employers as well as the capacity to be potential entrepreneurs. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Now to health. Medical experts say sleeping position is crucial to a baby's well-being, an information that is unknown to many. Studies prove that sleep posture can reduce the chances of sudden infant death syndrome. Hengino John Adams tells us more.
Have you heard stories of mothers putting their healthy babies to sleep only to find them dead hours later? Such events have left many wondering about the causes of a phenomenon called crib death or sudden infant death syndrome. Suffocation or convulsion can occur as a result of laying a baby face down for a long time.
Most of the incidences occur between 4 to 6 months. Their babies need to be laid in the cots, As you can see with this baby, the head and neck is elevated above the horizontal body, elevated beyond the level of the abdomen and the lower limbs.
To stop the worrisome trend, Safe to Sleep campaign was flagged off in 1994 to create awareness on dangers of allowing babies below 1 year to sleep on their tummy.
Children should be allowed to sleep on their backs.
Depending on the bedding material and the mattress that actually they are using, and you don't know because babies they cannot talk. Sleeping and next thing, maybe one of the what you use in the cover cloth or the duvet stuck and the baby cannot breathe.
17 years into the Safe to Sleep campaign, it is obvious that some mothers are still not aware of safe positions to lay their sleeping babies.
When you cover their belly on the floor like this, they will sleep well.
She loves sleeping on that position because I think she's very comfortable with that.
Experts say, apart from sleeping position, mothers should lay babies on firm sleeping surfaces, create safe sleeping environment by keeping pillows and crib bumpers away to reduce cases of such deaths. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
Thank you, Ngino, for that information. And that's it from Lagos, but we'll be taking our first break. The news will continue thereafter. Please stay with us.
Government has commenced second phase of COVID-19 vaccination. If you are 18 years and above and unvaccinated, register at www.nphcda.vaccination.gov.ng. Visit the nearest vaccination site to receive AstraZeneca or Moderna COVID-19 vaccine as first dose. If you received your first dose of AstraZeneca vaccine before 8th July, get your second dose now. All COVID-19 vaccines are free and certified safe. At the vaccination site, you can check blood pressure and know your diabetes risk status. Children aged 0 to 23 months will receive childhood vaccines and screened for malnutrition. After vaccination, continue to adhere to COVID-19 prevention protocols. For more information, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng or call 0700-220-1122. This message is from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
Fatima School Utako is a Catholic school with a blend of British and Nigerian curriculum.
Our vision is providing holistic education. Teachers are focused to bring out the best in each and every one of us. We are trained to be first-class citizens. Our skilled teachers are innovative and very passionate.
Fatima School is currently admitting children for 2021-2022 academic session into early years and primary school from ages 2 to 10. The first 20 parents to purchase a form will be entitled to a good discount. Anyone that recommends Fatima School will also be given an attractive gift. Number 21, TOS Benson Crescent, Utako, Abuja. Telephone 0809-9615-090. Fatima School, Utako, providing holistic education for excellence, godliness, and service.
Come, join us today.
A new edition of TV Guide is out exclusively with Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State.
Since assuming office,
Our rescue administration has pursued the path of peace and reconciliation and restored confidence among people of different ethnic, religious, and political persuasions. Peace is back on the plateau. We are building world-class infrastructure in roads and opening up opportunities for innovation.
The edition is a compendium of mind-blowing stories for your reading pleasure, ranging from entertainment, economy, sports, media, politics, family, and lots more. Pick up a copy and keep abreast with issues and trending features within our space. TV Guide, very incisive, very educative and compelling. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
This is NTA Nationwide. The Independent National Electoral Commission has test run the newly introduced Bimodal Voter Authentication System, BVAS, in the Isoko South State constituency by-election of Delta State. Rosemary Omani reports.
Various polling units visited were seen carrying out their functions. The electorate described the process as peaceful.
You can see that the election is very peaceful.
We do everything normal for this unit 6.
Some made reservations concerning the new added system, the Bimodal Voter Accreditation System, BVAS device, working simultaneously with the old practice of accreditation.
Initially, we had challenges with the machine. Some are running slow.
The INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner, Monday Udotom, said the challenge with the BVAS machine was just a minor one. He, however, commended it.
The machine BVAS, I can say out of 84, only 4 there were serious issues. And those serious issues areas we made attempt to bring one replacement.
While some party candidates agree the election was most peaceful in Isoko South, I am Rosemary Omani, NTA News.
Evive Owakwe of the PDP has been declared the winner of the Isoko South State constituency by-election of Delta State, having polled 6,957 votes to beat his closest rival, Ifewodo Osae of APC, who scored 1,301 votes. The British government is to intervene in the area of agricultural processing for value addition and empower small-scale farmers in Nasarawa State. British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katoriana Liang, gave this indication during her investment engagements in the state. Aliu Tijani Mohammed reports.
British High Commissioner to Nigeria was on investment drive to Nasarawa State, and the state government opens her windows to showcase potential of the state to prospective investors.
So we've got a member of my team from Department of International Trade, and I've also got my senior economist with me. And the reason they're on this trip, because they wouldn't come on all the trips, is because that's what, for me, distinguishes Nasarawa. So we will be following up. I've also been asked to follow up on the education side. I was very encouraged to hear the commitment Nasarawa has made to, is it 35% of your GNI on education? So I think Nasarawa can also lead the way on that, and we'll do a lot to connect you up with other education initiatives.
Also showcased were a cultural artifact of the state government and a Doba organized depicting reality of the Lafia Emirate Council. While the British government indicated interest in investing in the agricultural sector, a visit to one of the cassava processing center in Shabu and rice mill in Lafia is considered significant as she interacted with the local processors. Also visited was the Lafia Cargo Bus Terminal, where she promised to facilitate investment in solar-powered project to energize the park. In Lafia, Aliu Tijani Mohammed, NTA News.
To infrastructural development, a report from Kogi State indicates that the Kaba-Omwa-Ekiti Road, a connecting point for travelers to the south-south and southwest of Nigeria, has for several months become a dreadful experience for motorists. The poor state of the road due to natural and human activities have resulted in accidents, security challenges and other social concerns. Jacob Sani reports that the Federal Ministry of Works has responded to calls for immediate remediation of the interstate boundary road.
Ikoyi Community Road in Iyara, Ijumu local government area of Kogi State, is the link from neighboring Ekiti State. The route is an alternative road linking some state to northern part of Nigeria after failed sections of the yet to be repaired Okene Ebilo and Kaba Ishua Road.
Because of the road, now we sleep for Omu, for Kitide. Now go still go there, go video that place. That place, not be only this.
My appeal to federal government that they should take urgent attention to this road.
I don't know.
You should please repair this place. This is federal government. This is federal government. That you should come to our area. One is too much. We are lamenting here. Before we could pass through this place, is a lot of stress.
The traffic that's going along this road now is coming. So I will appeal to the federal government, just please come and do full rehabilitation of this.
Determined to promote free flow of movement of goods and services from one point to another, and to also check the activities of hoodlums, the Minister for Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, has directed the assessment of the road for quick intervention. The Federal Road Controller in Kogi State has, however, called on the Federal Road Safety Commission to help channel traffic while repair works are ongoing. He also urged Nigerians to drive with care.
I'm representing the Honorable Minister here. He has sent me to come here and find solution to the problems they are having on this road. The immediate solution is what we have been doing. We bring in the excavator here to create passage for water, and we are putting in boulder to consolidate those areas that are soft so that people can move.
His expectations are that the failed section will be speedily repaired in the reality of time. Jacob Sani, NTA News.
Cultural integration can serve as a catalyst for developing a sense of belonging and improve psychosocial well-being of refugees and internally displaced persons. Now, this theory was advanced by participants at a conference of Coalition of Humanitarian Organizations for Refugees and Internally Displaced Persons Settlements in Nigeria and West Africa. Joseph Osen reports.
Conflict in the West African sub-region has displaced thousands of people. It has also forced a large number to take refuge in neighboring countries. In Nigeria, the Northeast is worst hit with humanitarian concern.
You have about 14 states in Nigeria with humanitarian status.
Healthcare is a huge challenge. So I think there's a lot of work to be done.
Apart from the pain of forcefully leaving their homes and livelihood, refugees, IDPs, and the host communities struggle to cope with cultural adaptation.
The only thing that these people carry along with them wherever they go is their culture. And humanitarians must recognize and respect their culture for sustenance of peace.
This conference with the theme, Harmonizing Diversity in Providing Sustainable Model of Settlements for Refugees in Nigeria and West Africa, is not just looking at supporting these vulnerable people, but to help them be self-reliant and adapt to cultural diversity.
all skills will be embodied within that kind of settlement. And this will make them economically responsible, economically viable. And as well, we want to remind them of their cultural heritage as Africans.
Being sensitive to the culture of others is one thing. The humanitarian organizations themselves do not want to take for granted as they continue to render selfless service to the needy. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
Larry is standing by in Nevada Network Center for more reports from that axis. Hello, Larry.
Good my end. Welcome to Ibadan. The worrisome problem of unemployment in the country will be surmounted particularly through collaboration and synergy with relevant agencies and other development partners. Director General, National Directorate of Employment, NDE, Abubakar Nuhu Fikpo, gave the assurance in Oshogbo during an official visit to Osun State. Correspondent Joshua Ogunjide reports.
It was an opportunity for the National Directorate of Employment to express gratitude to the Osun State government for providing land and some existing structure within the Osun government reservation area for NDE to develop and put to use as its operation office and to construct model skills and entrepreneurship center. The NDE boss acknowledged that women and youths in the state are very active, noting that with a progressive government, women and youth deserved more opportunities for decent jobs and self-reliance.
I am determined to see that our state office relocates to this new and permanent site in Oshogbo as soon as possible.
Governor Electoral, while appreciating the NDE management for counting him worthy of such admiration, pledged his administration's unalloyed support for NDE programs implementation in the state.
I must thank the federal government for all manner of intervention to reduce unemployment. But we need more.
It is believed that the NDE programs and activities will continue to impact positively on job opportunities, wealth creation, and economic development of the state and the nation at large. In Oshogbo, Joshua Okujide, NT News.
As Nigeria intensifies efforts at controlling COVID-19 infection, Ogun State government has commenced the Moderna vaccination of residents of Imekwafon amidst the third wave of the pandemic. Correspondent Tokpe Alabi reports.
Worried by the unrestricted movement of people from in and out of Imekwafon in Ogun State, which shares extensive borderline with the Republic of Benin, the state government, in its efforts to resist community transmission of the dreaded COVID-19 infections, has commenced the administration of Moderna vaccination on the resident. And out of 187,426 doses of Moderna vaccines received by the Ogun State government, 924 of the doses are to be administered on residents of Imekwafon in the first batch, including vaccination of 1,632 doses of AstraZeneca vaccines.
We have started giving our first dose of Moderna COVID vaccine, and of course we are also giving the second dose of AstraZeneca COVID vaccine, and people are coming out to accept the vaccine.
The first one doesn't affect me, so it's work normal on my body, I will say that. And the second one now, I appreciate it.
The advice is simple, just take it and prevent yourself from COVID-19.
Because it's very important. This is the first time I'm collecting it. I didn't feel any pain.
The number has been increasing day by day, and we can boldly say we've been meeting our targets.
About 3,000 residents are expected to be captured for Moderna COVID-19 vaccination. In Imeko, Tokpe Alabi, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide from the network service of the NTA. More reports after this break. Stay with us.
COVID-19, that is the black swan of the century, has actually hit the whole world very hard, even the strongest of economies, and Nigeria was not spared. But due to the proactive stance and steps that the president has taken, We've been able to come out quickly. The president has consistently said we must invest in infrastructure. Even as we're investing in human capital, that we must invest in infrastructure, because at the end of the day, that is what will bring about a sustainable economic growth. So the president has given us our directive. He has said you must make sure you pay salaries and pay pensions, but you also make sure that the critical projects of roads, railway, airports, bridges, major infrastructure that are meant to drive the growth of the economy, that we consistently invest in them, even if we have to continue to borrow to do so.
This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Flight Lieutenant Abrahamic, aka the Aggressor, for his skillful and dogged escape from the bloodthirsty bandits in the forest of Zamfara state. 3 hearty cheers also to all military and security personnel who are tirelessly protecting fellow Nigerians from insurgency and banditry while maintaining peace and order. Nigerians are proud of Abrahamic and all our gallant men and women in uniform for sacrificing so much to keep us safe. We admire your courage and we say thank you. God bless the armed forces. God bless Nigeria. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
We are StarTimes, the most affordable digital pay TV platform with the widest signal coverage in Nigeria, dedicated to bringing the best TV entertainment around the world to your screen. From Hollywood to Bollywood to Nollywood, we offer the most affordable subscription. Enjoy over 75 channels for as low as 1,700 naira, like Nat Geo Wild, BBC, ESPN, and premium sports like Emirates FA Cup, La Liga, Bundesliga, wrestling. What's more exciting? We have the most flexible payment options in Nigeria. Don't dull. Join us now for an exciting journey. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Welcome back. And for the latest figures of COVID-19 in Nigeria, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has announced another 547 new cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria as at 11th of September 2021. The breakdown is as follows: Lagos 110, Oyo 72, Rivers 56, Anambra 50, Osun 49, Delta 48, FCT 42, Ekiti 29, Akwa Ibom 26, Abia 19, and Kano 16, Edo 10, Benue 7, Ogun 6, Kaduna 5, and Bayelsa 2. This brings the total number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the country to 198,786. 185,075 persons have been treated and discharged, and the death toll is now put at 2,590. Millions of people across the globe have received full doses of COVID-19 vaccine. This testifies to the potency and safety of the vaccines, as vaccination remains key to ending the pandemic. This was part of submissions from academic scholars at a training organized by the Child Rights Information Bureau of the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture in collaboration with the United Nations Children's Fund for Media Practitioners. Olishe Adebo has details.
All viruses, including SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, according to science, evolve over time. The mutation of COVID-19 to its latest, the Delta variant. This scientist, a senior lecturer at the Department of Pharmacology and Therapeutics, Bayero University, Kano, Dr. Murtala Jibril explains that Nigerians need to take advantage of the ongoing nationwide vaccination exercise to stop the virus from mutating again.
Because with mutations, the effectiveness and the efficacy of the vaccines tend to reduce, but they are still effective even among the mutant strains. So people should use this opportunity of the available vaccines in Nigeria, especially now that we have the Moderna vaccines, which is safe even in pregnancy.
These media practitioners selected from across the country to be better informed on the conspiracy theories about COVID-19 vaccine and ending fake news hampering the vaccination rollout in Nigeria.
We're hoping that what we have done here today, journalists are able to go out and create demand for the vaccine. And that's one way we are going to actually limit the ravages of COVID-19.
With the learning and the experience from this meeting, one is comfortable to propagate and promote and advocate the idea of vaccination.
The training is also providing participants stories, ideas that revolve around COVID-19 and vaccination exercise. Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Still talking health, in a supportive effort to tame the rising case of malaria and cholera epidemic in Jigawa State, over 300 women who are considered as family caregivers have been sensitized on preventive measures and first aid support to reduce fertility rate from the disease. A non-governmental organization tagged Mom and Me Healthier Together, in collaboration with the member representing the area in the National Assembly, carried out the medical outreach in Malam Vodori local government. Mohammed Musa Askira reports.
We are working in the Nigerians' individual consciousness to support the government's efforts in addressing malaria and other diseases was the reason for the one-day medical outreach by Mom and Me Together Healthier initiative, which took time to educate the participants on the role of personal and environmental hygiene in the prevention of malaria and cholera diseases. Over 300 women in Malamaduri local government area of Jigawa State have benefited from the one-day sensitization program and supported with insecticides, treated nets, oral rehydration salt ORS, and anti-malaria drugs. The medical outreach team leader, Dr. Fatima Jijiwa, says ensuring access to malaria prevention like this one will go a long way in reducing the rate of malaria infections, which in turn will ease the strain on healthcare system in the state and the country at large.
The first line of malaria is like you should clear the bushes around you, make everywhere clean, don't leave stagnant waters, use of mosquito nets, and this will prevent you at least from getting that malaria.
Community leaders and other stakeholders were impressed by the gesture, urging other health-related NGOs to copy a lead from Dr. Fatima.
Rainy season is prone to malaria and cholera diseases. Therefore, this program is timely as it educates the participants on the preventive measures.
Just of recent, there was an outbreak of cholera here and there, and we are happy. We really appreciate what this program did to us. I was able to get, as we have seen, a mosquito net, a packet of ORS for my children, and a anti-malaria tablet.
Become a good ambassador of this program. When we go to our home, we will tell our friend how can they prevent themselves from getting malaria.
From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Nationwide continues with Chinyere in an Enugu network center. Hello, Chinyere.
Hello, Jume. Thank you so much and welcome to Enugu. To enhance alternative dispute resolution in Enugu State, a multi-door courthouse constructed by the state government has been inaugurated by the state governor. The inauguration was part of the ceremonies that marked the retirement of the immediate past State Chief Judge, Justice Priscilla Emehelu. Susan Eze now reports.
Established in Enugu State in 2018,
The multi-door court initiative is an alternative dispute resolution vehicle established to supplement the judicial system in the dispensation of justice. Inaugurating the building, Governor Ugwanye, represented by the Deputy, Cecilia Ezilo, expressed hopes that the multi-door courthouse would offer the needed ease in the state judicial system. Glad that the multi-door courthouse came into being during her tenure, the immediate past Chief Judge of the state, Justice Priscilla Emehelo, commended the Ugwanye administration for its focus on the improvement of the state judicial system.
I wish to leave this charge with the Governing Council and the management of ESMDC. I admonish you that you drive the mandate of ESMDC aggressively and in keeping with the law which established the program, that you serve the people of Enugu State efficiently and passionately.
The inauguration of the multi-door courthouse preceded the retirement ceremony of Justice Emehelo as the Enugu State Chief Judge. Appointed as a Chief Judge in 2016, Justice Emehelo retired on the 7th of September 2021, having attained the constitutionally prescribed age of 65 years for judges. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
The need for people to reactivate and adhere strictly to all the COVID-19 safety protocols to prevent being infected with the new Delta variant has been re-emphasized. Chika Ugu reports that the Enugu State Governor's Task Force on COVID-19 made the emphasis during an advocacy visit to various key players in Nsukka local government area of the state.
The visit, which is on the instance of the governor, is to arouse people's consciousness on the new Delta variant, believed to be highly transmittable. The need for all to reinstate the COVID-19 protocols of regular hand washing, use of hand sanitizers, observing social distancing, wearing of nose masks, and avoiding crowded gatherings is the message this governor's task force on COVID-19 seeks to disseminate through the local government chairman of Nsukka. They also want to enlighten the people on the President's executive order on COVID-19, which has been domesticated by the Enugu State government and seeks to penalize violators of the regulation and mandatory COVID-19 tests.
So there is an effort that the government is making to prevent this Delta variant from coming into Enugu State. We are aware that it's already in Nigeria, and this Delta variant is more virulent.
We are going to carry the message further to the people, starting from our workers, to the church, to the markets, to the transporters.
The task force team also took the message to the Catholic and Anglican bishops of Nsukka Diocese who were represented. In a bid to reach the traders in the market, the team also visited the chairman and executives of Ogige Market Traders Association in Nsukka, where the governor's efforts in curtailing the spread of COVID-19 through fumigation of markets and public places, as well as opening an isolation center in Nsukka, were highly commended. Meanwhile, the team presented nose masks, hand sanitizers, and copies of COVID-19 guidelines to all the stakeholders visited. In Enugu, Chika Ubu, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. It's now back to Jume in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Inyere, the last batch of the 2020 Christian programs to the Kingdom of Jordan have returned to Nigeria after days of spiritual exercise. Ngozi Sylvia Technical reports.
The aircraft conveying the last batch of the more than 2,000 pilgrims screened for the 2020 spiritual exercise in the Kingdom of Jordan touches the ground at 2 p.m. local time. The COVID-19, which affected global affairs, bears its brunt on the arrangement for last year's pilgrimage and made the commission settle for the Kingdom of Jordan for the annual religious rites.
There they have about 10% of Christians, and then they have 90% of Muslims. Both the Christians and the Muslims occupy high positions in government. But what is more important to them is not about the religion, but it's about you are a Judanian, you are one of us. And we are to really learn from this particular practical incidences of these people living together, loving themselves.
They have been able to manage the little that is available to them, and because they have their faith in God, they've been able to transform their society. And it is my prayer that this country will be much, much greater than it is present.
The Commission says the annual religious engagement was hitch-free as pilgrims acted within the ambit of the rules governing the spiritual exercise. Ngozi Silva, Technical, NTA News.
For the National Mosque, Abuja, to be in a position to discharge its responsibilities as an important Islamic center to provide the required atmosphere for studies and research as well as adhere to orthodox religious observance, the Muslim Ummah must support it to establish an income-generating venture for sustainable future. Amirul Mu'minin and Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar, stated this at the stakeholders meeting on the aspirations of the National Mosque. Ilyasu Onoto Yakubu reports.
The stakeholders meeting was conceived by leadership to enable the Muslim Ummah deliberate on ideas to provide the mosque with financial capacity for its running. Part of proposals and prospects presented by the ad hoc committee is to develop the mosque land into a three-phase project comprising a mall, administrative building, and a hotel to make it a center befit Nigeria.
It would be recalled that the last time the dilapidated condition of the National Mosque was brought to the attention of the public was during the administration of President Obasanjo.
It is advisable to look at that prospect closely again so that there will be no mistakes in the investment.
I think it's a shame for all of us here, including myself, that this can happen with this mosque. That is because we do not have structures that we are asking us to do today, so that this must be catered for.
Sultan of Sokoto, Abubakar Saad III, beckoned on the believers to see the initiative as a call to invest in their hereafter.
How do we really continue to make this masjid the most relevant center for Muslims all over the country?
Since it was established in 1984, the National Mosque's successive leadership has had to rely on the goodwill of worshippers through almsgiving on platforms such as the weekly Juma prayer to finance the day-to-day running of the nation's Muslim worship center. If adopted by the Ummah, the developmental initiatives are expected to snowball into a revenue-yielding platform. Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
The federal government is adopting vocational training as part of measures towards achieving its vision of lifting 1 million Nigerians out of poverty. Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige made this known in Imo State while flagging off the Southeast Vocational Training Program for Youth. Reina Obasi has details.
The training attracted participants from the 5 Southeast states who will be trained in various skills including tailoring, ICT, cosmetics, among others. The participants commended the federal government for the opportunity given them, stressing that the training will make them self-reliant.
I will commend the action of the Federal Ministry of Labour through the very good innovative in empowering the youth.
I am excited. Thank you very much. There's nothing they can compare with having a skill, as far as Nigeria is concerned, to help yourself.
I feel good about this training because I'm going to learn a lot of sewing.
The Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, says the training is to enhance manpower development, to reduce youth unemployment and restiveness in the region. He adds that the trainees will be certified and empowered with tools at the end of the program.
But the idea is to bring blue-collar job, knowledge, and empowerment to the doorstep of most of the youths. Let us empower them to use their hands.
Other stakeholders at the event charged the participants to take the training seriously.
It's very, very important that we lift many Nigerians out of poverty.
The training has so far kicked off in the 3 geopolitical zones and will extend to other zones in the country. In Owerri, Rina Obase, NTA News.
Sport with Amanze Marcus is next.
Tornadoes Football Club of Minna are winners of the Nigerian National League Super 8, concluded Sunday at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium in Enugu. They defeated Shooting Star Sports Club of Ibadan 3-2 in the final between champions of the Northern and Southern Conferences. At the conclusion of the competition, Niger Tornadoes of Minna, Gombe United of Gombe, Shooting Stars of Ibadan, and Remo Stars of Ikeneremo, Ogun State were promoted to the Nigeria Professional Football League as from the 2021-2022 football season. Earlier, Chidi Okorafo reports from Enugu that the Nigeria National League imposed a fine of 1 million naira on Bendel Insurance Football Club of Benin City, whose fans invaded the pitch in protest at the referee's decision during their match with Ekiti United in yellow, which ended on a 1-1 draw. In tennis, Queen Elizabeth of England is among dignitaries that have congratulated British teenager Emma Raducanu for winning the 2021 US Open title at 18 to become the second British woman to earn a major trophy after Virginia Wade at Wimbledon in 1977. She has ended Britain's 44-year wait for a women's Grand Slam singles champion. I have no doubt your outstanding performance and that of your opponent Leila Fernandez will inspire the next generation of tennis players, says Queen Elizabeth. Raducanu beat Canada's Fernandez 6-4, 6-3 to complete a fairy tale in New York as the two unseeded players competed in the final. With sports update, Amanze Marcus, NTA News.
And before we go, remember to connect with the NTA and stand against rape and rapists. That's Nationwide for today. I am Jumwa Yusuf.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Stop this senseless killing. All we need is one Nigeria.
I think we have come to the threshold of time when we need to seek for peace.
We need
peace in this country. We need peace in Nigeria.
And together, we can pull through.
No matter where you come from,
Hausa, Igbo, or Yoruba.
We cannot achieve a better Nigeria by fighting.
Let us stand together in brotherhood and solidarity and strive for peace.
And not because of their tribal or their religion or whatsoever background.
Let us support the government of the day to embrace peace in our nation.
Your Nigeria, our Nigeria, my Nigeria.
This message is brought to you by the Ambassador of Voice for Change Initiative, supported by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, and the Federal Capital Territory.
Disaster occurs on frequent basis. Some we hear of, others we do not. Terrorism, flood, fire, earthquake, car or plane crashes, building collapse, and even armed robbery, each bringing assets and revenue loss, human mortality, and in 90% of survivors, great loss of hope. Flooding is the most common of all environment hazards, and it regularly claims over 20,000 lives per year and adversely affects about 75 million people worldwide. Nigeria has had its fair share.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows, only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows, only time.
Emergencies, as the name implies, are not set out to happen, but they can be planned or budgeted for. Disaster management may not avert emergency threats, but it will decrease the impact of disaster where well handled. It then brings to the fore the key phases to management of disaster: mitigation, response, recovery, preparedness, and prevention. Every citizen must be well acquainted with all of them. Wishing disaster away does not avert it. Rather, as put in the local parlance, a man of valor is only identified at a time of emergency. Let us always be prepared.
This is the network service of the NTA.
You are welcome to yet another edition of Abrahamic Mission. Abrahamic Mission is a program that is designed to create peace and peaceful coexistence among us living in this country. Today we'll be looking at vengeance. Why are we looking at this topic today? If you look at what is happening today in our country, especially in Plateau State, where we have a little crisis recently, and it's now becoming to escalate, but we thank God that it is coming down. Why is it coming up and coming down? The problem there is vengeance. And today we want to look at vengeance if we call ourselves religious people. What does God say about vengeance? My name is Imam Fuad Adeyemi, and joining me in the studio are two heads that I can refer to as one head. This time around, I'm going to introduce the two of them together, the co-executive directors of Interfaith Mediation Center in Kaduna, but they're everywhere in the world, starting from Pastor James Wuye. You are welcome, Pastor.
Peace be with you, our viewers. Peace be upon Nigeria.
Amen. And our own brother, Sheikh Dr. Nurain Ashafa, you are welcome.
Our fellow viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We thank you for being part of this program today. I know you have been doing a lot of work in Plateau State, but it's not yet time for us to discuss that. Let us look at the messages which we have received in the past few days. Let me start with somebody that is saying good morning, sir. I think he got the program in the early morning. He said, my name is Joshua. I greatly appreciate your program. Please, your topic this night should be a seminar paper or a workshop at National Assembly and State Houses of Assembly. Which topic is he referring to? This one also says that, good evening, sir. My name is Linus Winde. I am from Benin, Edo State. I appreciate you for the good work you are doing, and for the topic of today, I really enjoy it and support you about with prayer, of which you said about the prayer day of which you said last Wednesday of every September. I really appreciate. Thank you. I think let me explain that one to you. We are making proposals that the government should take the last Thursday of September as a national prayer day for this country, because it's close to our independence. The Christian and the Muslim, all of us, we have time to do. What's your opinion about that?
Wow, that's a good one. If Nigerian prays before the day of independence, is super. And your choice of Thursday is also unique because in that regard, you are very neutral. It is not like saying you choose Friday or you choose Sunday, where there will be feeling, why did he choose Friday or Sunday, that you are giving preference to any of the faith. I think that Thursday is a good day for this kind of prayers. Yeah, I buy into that too.
And for me, I think the most important thing is that prayer is the strongest weapon of believers. Any person of faith, if the situation looks somehow, just returning back to God. It means knock at the door and persistently knock at the door, so that the Lord will open the way for our nation to return back to those days of glory while we sleep with our two eyes closed.
Thank you. I think one of the reasons why we also chose that day was that we were looking for a way in which we will walk first, then we pray again. So when we walk, we support it with prayer. It's not just only prayer we are doing, neither is only walk we are doing. If we walk and we pray, then it becomes a perfect relationship.
Oh, that's super.
This man, right, he said, dear presenter, we just want to appreciate you and your guests in the studio for sharing our thoughts and opinion about the country, in letting our leaders, politicians, and elites know that they should follow the right path in rescuing our country back to its glory. May God bless you all for speaking the truth always. From Mrs. O. Iwobi, Delta State. Please, I will appeal that anybody that is writing, write your name and where you write from, please. This man writes, I think I like the submission of this man. He said, I am from the north, from Kaduna State, but I hope you are not Pastor Uye here. He said, I grew up in Enugu, in the east, in Enugu, and I am currently serving NYC in the west. I have seen it all and studied all this tribe, and I see no reason why we should keep on fighting one another. We are all one. I have stayed in almost all the geopolitical zones, and I love them all. Everything is all about knowing ourselves intimately. With this, we are going to have a great and with this, we are going to have a great and better Nigeria. Let's always try and know each other, and not working on what people said about other tribes or religion and developing hatred for them. God bless you.
Wow. This is the ideal Nigerian. These are the type of Nigerian we want to see. Nigerian youth who can see the positive energy in every part of this country, positive energy in every tribes across the nation. When our children were able to see this, we have a future assured. And I think one of the most important messages from Abrahamic mission is ability for Nigerians to see the positive energy in our religious values, positive energy in our community.
Very well. For this guy who has almost lived in every part, I think he stands best to share stories of what Nigeria is truly. He is the type of people who give the narratives that we need to hear, because being in every part of the country, and the story he's given shows that there is hope for this country.
Well, thank you. I will try to look for this man. I know we'll get sponsor to bring him on air because he can tell us almost everything. No matter what, it's likely to be a Christian or a Muslim. So we'll also add it together. We'll be able to see a complete Nigerian. Thank you, Mr. But unfortunately, his name is not here. But we'll trace the number. We'll get him back. With what he has said, there's something that we always propose here, that anybody wants to become president of Nigeria, they should add it. You must have stayed at least two other geopolitical zones beside your own. Because that is the only thing you will really appreciate others. And when you are taking decisions, you'll have known the way they live, the way they eat, the way they interact, their interest, their love. It is then you'll be able to appreciate. And that's why I like the Nigerian military. You cannot say because you are from the north and all your posting will be in the north. It's not possible.
Not.
So I think we should be able to reorientate ourselves now in such a situation, because anybody that has not gone out of other zone might actually not know their feelings.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
It might not know their thinking. It might not know their pains or what they cherish. They will just be reading. But when you are part of it, you will quickly understand that I don't need to be told this is what is needed in this area.
Absolutely. I think I go with you in that. I hope we'll be able to have an ideal where Nigerians will speak for Nigerians, understanding the context in which our nation lives.
Yeah, thank you. This man also right said, you are the best program that NTA have been showcasing. Please keep it up. God will bless you. Thanks, Mrs. Joyce Okpara. Another one, right, he says, I love this program. My name is Rose from Shagamu. My question is, okay, I think we have answered this. This one, right, he said that a beautiful God-given program for the Nigerian nation and humankind. Abrahamic mission, the NTA and the host, with the organizer deserve commendation and award for peace, love, and religious tolerance. But my worry is, can this wonderful program be sustained, spread to schools? Where lies our differences as people? Why the fightings, killings, over what? That's the way he asks it. So can we as a people, under one God, not really live in peace with God and man, which Islam stands for, and the Christ-like love, of God and neighbor in Christianity? May God and Allah bless our nation, Nigeria, from A.O. Adodo, Benin City, Edo State. I don't know how you got the gist.
For me, it was so strong. It was so strong to have somebody to reflect over, believing is about the God of all. And we need to work towards having a nation that we are all seeing ourselves as one family. I think that's just the sum up of that for me.
Yeah, he did spoke quite strongly too. And his passion for the program, and even recommending that this is program A for him on NTA, and that he isn't praying for the sustenance. And another fear he had was that he just hoped that it's not just one of these programs that will just come and go. I know he wants it sustained. And of course, I join him also to recommend that award that he's asking for. Whoever is responsible should check and see.
Those who are responsible are many.
Yeah, okay, they are hearing us, but it's very good for
this program to be sustained, specifically.
No, I think we have to appreciate first and foremost the management of NTA sincerely, because the support which they give is unbelievable, and also the FRCN, Radio Nigeria now too, because some of the time, even somebody like me is only on radio, I listen to it on Sunday, so which allows me to look at listen to what we are doing.
Exactly.
Are we doing? If I watch television, I know I'm on television on Friday, but on Sunday I will go to radio to see what is happening. So all FRCN stations nationwide, you can listen to Abrahamic Mission by 5 p.m.
Amazing.
And audience are also on television. So we thank you. And you can also be part of this just by sending your messages, WhatsApp messages and SMS only to 070-449-44949. Another one, 070-449-44949. Thank you for being there. Don't go away. We'll go on a short break now, but we'll be back to the main discussion of the day.
Nigeria,
Our great nation with vast and rich land. Our people are strong and united. Our founding fathers, Sir Ahmadu Bello, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, and a host of others bequeathed us a united, peaceful and prosperous Nigeria. Let us honor them by living in peace with one another. Let us eschew violence, ethnic profiling, and religious bigotry. We must avoid hate speech and other forms of derogatory words against our fellow Nigerians. Let our differences in tribes, cultures, religions, or politics be the ingredients that make our unity palatable. Let us all join hands to fight our common enemies of insecurity, poverty, and unemployment. Nigeria is big enough for us all. Let's unite to make our country a great place for us all. This message is from Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation in collaboration with Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Yeah, welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Abrahamic Mission, and today we are discussing vengeance. If you look at what we have been experiencing the last few weeks in the country, especially in Plateau State that has become the center of peace with the present governor there, with the effort he has been putting. We did not know overnight. Something just came up. We believe it's devilish work, probably. And we know devil does not have a house nor a residential place in our area. And that is why it will lead us to what we are going to discuss today, vengeance. Why should people be fighting in the first instance? If you at fault once, does it mean that you must continue fighting after the first one? Even after that, why can't you forgive others whom you think that they have done this thing to you? Perhaps we might have peace and we can progress. And to discuss all this are the professionals, so to say, because the only thing they know is to stop you from revenging your past effort, your things that you are not happy with. They have a way of telling you, they have a way of teaching you. And incidentally, they have been working in Plateau State since the war broke out, but alhamdulillah, it has gone down, and we pray that we continue to go down. Join me to welcome Imam Nurain Ashafa, who is the co-executive director of Interfaith Mediation Center. Imam, once again, you are welcome.
Thank you very much for having us on the air. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi. And also, my dear brother, friend, Pastor James Wuye, who is also co-executive director at Interfaith Mediation Center in Kaduna again.
Once again, more peace to you all. Peace be with you.
Thank you so much. Peace be with you. I think we're going to start with that peace. And you've been moving to Plateau State on and off and on in recent times. Before we go into what we want to discuss, there is vengeance. But briefly, can you tell us what is happening in Plateau? Although we are still expecting the actors themselves.
Yeah, thank you very much. What is happening on the Plateau in terms of the bottled anger, competition over who killed the most? It is like playing game over souls and lives of people. So what is playing out in Plateau is people killing and others killing and others retaliating. So there is a cycle of violence. Unfortunately, we were there during the curfew. We even went when the curfew was on, and we were able to enter into Plateau under a program we call Community Initiative to Promote Peace. We felt that the people in the ground are supposed to be able to promote peace by themselves and not wait for the government. We went there not alone. We went there in a partnership of other groups, people like Pari, who is a Fulani group looking at farmers' headers challenge. We went there with a radio program, Arda. We went there also with the Mexico. We went there also with the SCDDDD. That one is a very long one. It says what is that name of
Savannah Center for Democracy and Development.
Oh, that thing was owned by the current chief of staff.
Yes,
absolutely,
exactly.
Mr.
Before
President.
he handed over. So all the team, we are saying, let's go to Plateau and see how we can stop this killing and revenge, which is a cycle that needs to be broken. There is pain, sir. There is pain. We saw people, we visited people, we heard people, and we talked to people. And that's why we went there for 9 days speaking on this topic that we are talking about today.
Okay. But do you know what really caused that problem?
I think the cause of the problem is unhealed memory. Unhealed memory of historical perceived injustices. Some are injustice, some are exclusion, some are persecutions, and some are confrontations. Some are injury, they concern primary victims. So those anger of those pain, those anger of absence of justice, unquote, those absence of lack of impunity, or absence of impunity specifically, lack of arresting criminals or releasing criminals who are indicted, people perceive that the best thing to do, instead of processing the anger, is transferring their angers, their pain to others. And in doing this, they feel they can take justice law into their own hands. Let's go for our own type of justice. Group A has hurt us, we need to go back to revenge. And in the circle of revenge, they also come back to say we are going to revenge. And revenge is giving birth to revenge. And consequences, it means reprisal attack is giving back to reprisal attacks. Consequences, it simply means that when you talk of reprisal attack, you are talking about unforgiveness, processing, ability to break the circle, moving into restitution or restoration of relationship with the perceived injustices being done. These are the remote and the immediate cause of the programs. Forget about just the kicking on the way, but the deep remote cause is people feel they need to process their anger. And the best way to process their anger is to go for iron fix instead of shaking hands with the enemy.
You want to add something?
He says shaking hands with the enemy. yeah, it's quite a difficult thing to shake hands with the enemy. But like he said, the anger and retaliation. You see, people have different perception and are also seeing different things happening. And the best way they think they can process this is to ventilate their anger through the killings and counter killings. Okay. It's a cycle, and it's so devastating. The people are really in pains.
In pains. Okay. Now, Imam, you still want to say something?
Yes. I mean, you know why? That pains will never go away. Because you are adding value to, you are adding more pains to yourselves. When you refuse to process your anger, when you refuse to process your pain by adopting the models given to us by our religious icon in the personality of Abrahamic traditions. In Abrahamic traditions, one of the best ways to deal with this pain is to process it. And to process your pain, your anger, your injury, is to let go. And to let go means you need to, what fast track it is ability to extend the seal of forgiveness. As we see it demonstrated by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Mecca, those who for 10 years they persecute, they humiliate, they extol, they exploit them. But Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he got back to Mecca, what did he do? Instead, revenge? No, he chose the path of forgiveness, a declaration of amnesty for people of what? Of people of Mecca. But I don't know in the church what they did. Pastor won't tell you that. He will tell you what they did.
Probably don't want to say it for me. Okay. But vengeance is the Lord, says God, particularly in Romans chapter 12, verse 19. He said, look, allow even issues of vengeance. It is not for you to revenge. He said, pass it over to me. I know how to do it.
And when pass it over to me.
Yes, God said, give me this. Give me your trouble. I will avenge for you. And when God avenges, he does not raise dust. He does it in his own way. So please, the issue of you going to retaliate or to fight, you know, I say an eye for an eye. but it leaves the whole people blind.
Blind, yeah, okay.
And let me venture a little into something that my friend did not want to do for me.
Oh, please
you know, like I lost my hand in the challenges in Kaduna in 1992. Now, if I were to retaliate, if Imam, though he wasn't directly the one, but others around him, if he were responsible for my hand, then it means they should go and cut his hand, just like they cut my own. Now, if we weigh that hand on the scale, it is not equal to that he has chopped mine, then there is no justice. And that's why probably in the Islamic teaching that says, well, it is permitted that you can avenge evil equal to the evil done to you. But the best is to forgive.
But it's dangerous to avenge because of the way Quran even put it. Because it must be equal. How do you measure it?
That's it.
It's very dangerous.
So the Prophet of Islam was telling his followers deliberately, succinctly, in a very diplomatic way, please, forgiveness is the best. Don't retaliate.
Bishop, Pastor, let me also take it for you from the Bible.
Yes.
They say when they slap you from the right, you now turn the left ear. People I don't know what I've mentioned it to you. It's not that they want you to be a fool. They are insulting the person that's actually slapping you. That is when you do that. Some other time I will explain
We'll talk about this. These are theologians talking about
I will explain more. I will explain more.
I feel as the pastor was just revealing to say, in Islam, it is better to forgive than to revenge.
Yes.
Quran 41, verse 34. Quran chapter 41, verse 34. But the same thing applies in the Bible, in the book of Matthew chapter 5. How can Jesus tell you those who abuse you, bless them? Those who curse you, bless those who curse you. And what he didn't go for, I say what? Those who deny you even something, give it to them, better to them. And the enemy that has hurt you, find a place to forgive him. I think these are messages that is connecting as children of Abraham in our religious traditions.
I think
Abrahamic
many people are failure.
So where does our brothers, not only in Plateau, but across the nations, those who insist that we have to break this nation because some people have hurt us, those who insist that we will not relate with those tribes because their tribe has hurt us. How do you get out of that?
Let me relate another one that will make you laugh. This is not a good one, but I will relate it.
Please do.
Something is going viral. But now somebody sent to one of our groups, a lady went for work. I think she was in the night. Something happened. And when she forgot something at home, she's a married woman. She forgot something. And she came back home. Unfortunately, she met her husband and another woman on their bed. The woman said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've come to disturb you. I'm sorry, I forgot something else." I said, "I know you have not eaten." He went and bring bread. He gave them. He brought something to drink, juice. He gave them. "I know you'll be tired. Please take this. Just giving you." The wife doing that one to her husband and the girlfriend.
On her bed.
On her bed.
In her master bedroom.
In her master bedroom.
So,
the two of them were shivering. The person who posted it said, "You are waiting for her to bring iron." I said, "No, do another thing to change your enemy." He said, "That lady will not do it again." And honestly, that was the end of it, the end of that relationship. What is vengeance?
Vengeance, in another word, is doing avenging. Is retributive action, taking action against perceived hurt or injury done to you. That is what they say vengeance. But the story you have just related is the right attitude towards our people. The Christian faith has asked us. He say, look, for those even who persecute you, pray for them and then forgive them. Forgive them. And he said, if the work of that person is to hurt you in a day 490 times, he said, find somewhere in your heart 490 times a day to forgive that person. And that's Christ. He said, if we don't forgive, sir, he said, our God in heaven will not forgive us. And he, even in his teaching in the prayers that we call the Lord Prayer, there is a line that says, Forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us, or trespasses, or hurt us, those who wrong us. It is just the thing. There is no two ways to it, sir. There is a verse that I like to take people to that talks about your anger. If you don't transform it and you give it to others, and then those people will come short of the glory of God. Hebrews chapter 12 verse 15 say, you should not be angry to a point that it will grow roots in you. When it grows roots, it will cause many to come short of the glory of God. If that is a call, it means if we don't transform our anger, our pains, and we transfer it to others, like the young people in the street killing each other in Plateau State, it is an anger transferred, not anger transformed. And we are believing that some of us, the religious leaders, are responsible for the escalation of that problem, because we have people who put things on video and they ventilate anger on the venue. This calling people to go and kill and retaliate. This one will counteract. This one will do this. And so when the young people see, they see it as a blank check, as a motivation to go and kill. And my anger that I'm transforming here today is that most of us, the religious leaders who promote that, our children are not on the street. No, they are not on the street. We stay in our safe places and send out this negative, dangerous venom into the air, and people carry it. Instead of preaching what Christ will have preached, we are preaching the contrary. Injustice may be perceived to be done, but it is not from your mouth as a man of God or perceived man of God that you can begin to ventilate and incite the community. Then if they kill your congregation, what other sheep do you have to pastor? Because the word of a pastor is a pastoralist by the sense of it. So this is what I'm telling to the Plateau people. That anger you have, please press it. It won't pay you if you are competing over killing. Everywhere. But for now, the anger is much there on the Plateau. And we believe that the efforts that the government and others are doing, let's complement it. Let's not pull it down. Okay. They are all human beings out there.
Okay. Please, before I tell you, that's one thing I also want to support you with it, that there are devilish religious leaders in this country. There are evil religious leaders, and I can make you to know them. Any religious leader that asks you to go and kill, to go and destroy, run away from him or her, is a devil reincarnate. Imam, what do you want to say about vengeance?
What I want to say is that vengeance is like sword with two edges. It can be positive, it can be negative. Vengeance is ability to revenge. It's ability to transfer back, to transform, to turn back, to recover, or to do something for somebody who has done something to you. And there are always two ways. The first way is an eye for an eye. You are revenging negative for negatives. The second way is to transform negative into positive, to give somebody a greater value than what he can give. I remember the case of a snake. A man was trying to help a snake, and the snake come out and sting him. And when the snake bite him, instead of running away, leaving the snake who was inside fire, almost at the edge of the fire getting burned, he continued to make sure he saved the snakes from the hole, from the burning furnace of the fire into another place. And after saving him, somebody come closer and ask him, "Oh, you man, why are you so much in helping the snake? A snake that bite you just now, and you are still doing your best to save her from hell. Why don't you let her die in hell?" And the man responded by saying, "The snake gave what she has, and I gave her what I have." The snake have all she knows in her life is ability to kill, to sting. But all I have in my life is to be compassionate, to give compassion. So she gave me sin, I gave compassion back. And I feel our brothers and sisters across, not only on the Plateau, there are two things you have. You give the positive energy in you to that negative man who come to confront you. And I feel the governor of Plateau has done something unique in this country. What is unique? To process your what? Your anger, your pains that were caused, which you don't even deserve, but somebody somehow caused that pain on you. he created a safe space, a day of forgiveness, as a part of the Lord. The part of the Lord Christ has taught us is about forgiveness. So he created a day of forgiveness.
I think it's February.
And a garden of forgiveness. On the 7th of February every year, he declared that day to be a public holiday in the whole Plateau State. So that garden of forgiveness, for you who want to process your anger, your pain positively, to get out of, to transform your pain, you have a place to do so. And those who want to go into a negative way, the consequences is that they will continue living in pains. We need to have people who on the plateau, as the governor have shown a model, the citizens should show the whole nation of the world, not only Nigeria, a model of saying what Governor Solomon Lalong has put in place. By doing what? By creating that safe space in every household, in every community, in every city, in every local government of Plateau State. Nay, the whole nation Nigeria, we must create a temple of forgiveness in our sacred space. Because only with that can we get out of these pains. It doesn't matter because you forgive, you are weaker. Some men of wisdom have told us clearly that forgiveness is the weapon of the courageous people. You need to be courageous to be able to give what others cannot give you.
To give the courageous will to give to others what others cannot give you.
Yes,
I think this is a big one. We have to watch it. Whatever you think that you have been offended, you have been hurt, you have been dealt with unjustly, when you drop it, yours becomes double. You have, in this world, you get higher stage more than the person that you have forgiven. That person for life will be looking at you in a way that even if he has the opportunity, will prostrate for your children. And thirdly, you'll be happy inside yourself.
That's right.
Absolutely.
For us to have a permanent happiness, let's forgive and do not take vengeance. We go on a short break now, but when we come back, we continue.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding.
No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Yeah, welcome back. If you are just joining us, the topic we are discussing is vengeance. Imam, you have been talking about this vengeance. When you take vengeance, what follows? What can we refer to as, what are the likely consequences?
The likely consequences of vengeance in your heart is you will never have inner peace. You lost your inner peace. Number two, when you follow the path of vengeance, you love your sense of security. He's still coming back because I've hurt him again. He's still coming back. He's coming back. Number three, you lost your health. Because it's this negative energy inside you. And when you poison, it affects your psychosocial point of personal relationship with others. Everybody is potential danger. You never see positive energy in others, you continue seeing negative energy in others. And finally, health. Your heartbeat moves faster than what it is necessary. Your psychological sense of being becomes you develop some psychiatrical problems because you will never think straight again. This is just a few consequences I know Pastor have more to say.
Yes, I will come back. I'll come to him, Pastor.
Yes, thank you for coming back to me. I've been itching to say this.
Okay, you will have told me.
Yeah,
you know me and you, we are together. I will have asked you to continue.
Oh, wonderful, sir. Thank you again for being my brother.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes. Anything, just tell me. I can stop anybody. There's no problem.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, but for me, you see, to stop this vengeance is to love excessively.
To love excessively.
Yes. How do you overwhelm? How do you disarm your enemy? Is to love that enemy
overwhelmingly.
Yeah, overwhelmingly and excessively. In short, your love should be infectious. So as to the point that your enemy will see it and say, look, what I'm doing to this person is not right. Now, practically speaking, there are people who have been killing and counter-killing. How do the people stop this killing? For me, in Nigeria, is to create cycles of peace, of men and women, you and I going in a bus, you and I going, and Imam going to Jos, together, travel to sports, because I went to Muslim community in Jos, and I passed through there, and they saw me on a peace mission. I was wearing a cap where people could not pass and they will be killed. I passed through there. Imam did similar thing, passed through areas but because he and I are together, you have to kill me before you kill him, or you can kill him before you kill me. Yeah,
don't say that in Kaduna.
Yeah, no, it's possible.
In your Katia.
No, it's possible, sir. What you experience is a temporal state of madness. But when people...
You remember the one I experienced?
Yes, that you experienced that you almost got killed somewhere around Kachia, Kaduna Road.
I don't mention that place.
I wouldn't say it again. But what I'm saying in essence that if we as religious leaders would put our hands together, publicly declare forgiveness, holding hands one after the other, we will disarm those people who goes to the media to incite. We will join hands as religious leaders to say enough of this killing together, because we are losing membership, we are losing people, we are losing our own property, we are losing our health. Create circles within communities, by communities themselves, create this initiative, and we are able to stop this vengeance. But if it is us who cry the most and ventilate our anger the most, then our followers will follow suit. As a leader, you need to talk less, act positively more, so that the people can see. And those perceptions, we can disarm even those who come to create the challenge. When two rams want to fight, all you need to do is to pull them together, hit their head, and then you back out. They will keep kicking at each other. And that is why those evil people are doing for Nigerians. But we must defeat them. And defeating them is religious leaders coming together to say no to this thing. I know that Narek is there. Narek is out there. But we need to be seen at the grassroots.
Yes, to be
together, practical. Yeah. The imam of a small church, a mosque, a pastor of a small church in a community coming together and say, we'll create walls of peace.
By God's grace, Abrahamic Mission is working towards that. I pray in November, we're going to come together. You'll be part of it by God's grace. We are going to come together and begin to have even local government initiative of the Abrahamic Mission to that level. Very soon, we'll be part of it together.
Count us in, God willing.
Imam, you have not said anything on...
One of the key important way out, if this is a challenge, is one of the most important danger is storytelling. Can we change the stories? The narratives we tell our children at home, in a safe inner comfort, we always tell our children that they are the enemies. Their forefathers have enslaved our forefathers. Their grandparents have done this to our grandparents. We will never be part of them. Someone tell their children, even their daughters, don't marry them. Don't marry from that family. Don't marry from that tribes. Don't marry from that community because their forefathers has enslaved your forefathers. In our religious tradition, the pastor has made it clear to me when he says what? The soul that sinneth shall die. The father will not bear the iniquity of the son upon the shoulder of the father, neither will God bear the iniquity of the father upon the shoulder of the son. Each soul that sinneth shall carry the body of its own sin. And in Islam, the same thing. It the soul that sinneth, that shall carry its own burden on its own shoulder. Why do we still tell these narrative stories? Why don't we change it, for God's sake? The second important, apart from storytelling to our children, some of our elders...
Talking of a way of breaking the cycle of vengeance now.
Because when you tell them the negative story, they keep on repeating it, the anger, the pains they go through. And to break that cycle, one of the things is to look at those theological liberation, theology of liberation within our scripture. As the Quran and the Bible has made it very clear to say that for you to have a better world, you have to learn to forgive. And we look at iconic characters, like how does Joseph, his own brothers, who sent into prison, who sent into gallows and he ended up in prison, how did he able to forgive those 11 of his brothers who have persecuted him, and when he become a king, he has opportunity to revenge. He never revenge. Why? Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in Mecca, in Taif, he has opportunity to revenge. The angel come, they stoned him, blood was flowing all over his body. And to revenge, he said, Allahumma ghafri ahdi qawmi. Innahum la, oh God, forgive my people. Because they don't know what they are doing. They are acting out of knowledge. So
Pastor is laughing at you.
Yes, because this is the hadith of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
I know why he's laughing. He will tell us why he's laughing. Just go ahead.
So if Muhammad says, I will not revenge, when God gave him the right to revenge, who are you as a Muslim to say you have an unforgiving spirit? It has no boundary in Islam. Number 3, very clearly, it is written, and we saw it clearly, that Muhammad won the heart of the worst of his enemy through extending the seed of forgiveness to them. And the Quran, it was a very clear test in the Quran that this metaphor of always turn the evil with that which is good is more rewarding, it's more healthy, it keeps you alive. For us to succeed is to say, learn the spirit of what? Of letting go. And to let go is not forgive, not forgetting. It's forgiving and creating a new safe space by getting more inch towards that your enemy that you perceive. Our young children today, we must let them, we must teach them. The culture of vengeance has taken over their heart. They must learn to say, if they want to have a better future, they must learn to forgive, to let go. I think the only way out is one: forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. He hurt you, you pray for him. He cursed you, you bless him. That was the teaching of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Before you call me, because I know you must call me, and you are going to come from where he said, that God guide my people, because I know that is why you are laughing. Yeah. But I just want to add more. I think the entertainment industry, they have to do something here. I remember when we were small, there was this film we used to watch on NTA Ibadan then. They call it Kogumaja, that preventing war. You will see two communities fighting, they will be threatening, they will be doing this, but at the verge of starting, something must stop it.
Exactly.
They call it Kogumaja. I think we need more of that kind of thing. Pastor, what do we do to break this cycle of vengeance?
Well, Jesus Christ exemplifies forgiveness, even though when he was arrested and he was being persecuted, and then he was being killed, and he said, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they do. And even Stephen, an apostle after Christ, also when he was being persecuted, and he said, Lord, do not hold this charge against these people. And it keeps going. If you hear the stories of the Christian martyrs and all that, you will see it's all about letting go even at the point of exit from this world. So I was laughing because when it's like the same phrase that Jesus said, forgive them, for they do not know what they do, is what the Taif story that my friend...
Pastor, do you know one thing that is important here? The prophet that he mentioned cannot read, neither can he write. So we couldn't have said that he has copied from the... But what I'm trying to say is that if you are truly man of God, peace will come out from your mouth.
Naturally, you speak peace. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. And it's when you see people talking without measuring what they say, it shows... See, so not all that are called religious people are religious people. Some went there out of envy, some went there because there is no other business to do, some went there, well, because they are truly called. And for those who are truly called, they have a reflective capacity to know when to say things and when not to say. You see, this tongue is very little in the mouth, according to James, but it can set the world ablaze. My desire, my true desire, is this country, sir, should set a day of forgiveness. We must be sincere to ourselves. We should have, under the presidency of the leadership of this country, we must humble ourselves and say we forgive. Then we'll begin to work together, government and the governed, to see how we can put structures on ground, both psychological, physical, spiritual, and also the use of what is necessary within the cover of the government. Because in the book of Romans, chapter 10, particularly chapter 10, verse 13 or thereabout, or 13, verse 10, from 13, 1 to 3, it says, look, we should obey those in authority.
Definitely.
If they declare, we should all agree. I remember there was a head of state that said we should pray for this country at one point, General Abacha. He declared that, and it is not wrong for our system if God can see us and help us. I end by this saying, in this phase of my contribution, the Bible says, Solomon prayed to the Lord, Lord, heal my land, bring peace. And Solomon, God said to Solomon, if only you, Solomon, the head, shall humble yourself and then turn away from all the wickedness, I, God in heaven, then he now extended to the people. If you humble yourself, forsake your sin, and come back, I will heal the land. The land needs healing. The blood of many is on the ground. Whatever way it is being done, the blood is crying unto the Lord. The blood of Cain alone cried, reported to God. And God, Abel, God said 7 times, Cain, you will be punished. And he put a mark on his head. Talk less of where blood is being split everywhere. But we must forgive to stop the blood flow.
Okay. Now, I will still continue with you briefly. Now you are leading it to restitution. What do we do briefly? Now, since we are going to stop vengeance, what do we do? To what I think that can serve for restitution now?
An example exists in Plateau State. There is an imam who saved some people from being killed. It's a Fulani imam, they came. Abubakar. He stopped. And that is the kind of example we want to see. I know also a story of a Kekena Pep guy in Plateau. Not all are bad. He took a Fulani man who was coming into a Rukuba area that he was supposed to be killed. He took him on his back because he saw his people coming for the man and drove him to safety. And the man took money, shaking. How much? He said, no, I did it because I know my people will kill you. This is the example. Nigerians are not all bad. Yes. That is what we need to highlight, and we need to propagate and escalate. There are good things.
There is a Catholic church, that built a mosque for a community in Gwagwalada here in Nigeria, in Abuja, a Catholic church. They discovered that the mosque are praying is not good enough. The pastor there, the father, raised funds to renovate that mosque, which they did recently. BBC carried it.
Yeah, I saw the picture.
We've seen this in history. I'm happy that the Catholics are doing that. We saw it in history, how Muhammad ordered the protection of sacred places of worship of the Christians. Yeah. St. Katrina Monastery in Sinai. For those who go in the country, the Church of Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, one of the holiest of holy for Christians who went on pilgrimage, is protected by Sayyidina Umar, and hand over the key to a Muslim family and say, you must protect this place. Up to this day, up to this moment, the key is still in the hand of the Muslims who open this sacred place every morning and close it in the evening. That we saw clearly. And up to this day, in Jordan, we saw how Muslims, 97% or 95 to 97% of the population are Muslims, how they protect Christian sacred places. Just like the bishops, the father who built the church, and another king, a Christian king in Obolafo, Imo State, Anambra or Enugu State, on the cross border, who built a mosque for the Muslims. So this type of beautiful things that is happening, where are they? I wish to see a Nigeria where the federal government declare a day of forgiveness for all of us, as the pastor have mentioned.
Yes.
I want to see a Nigeria where National Merit Award are given to fellow Nigerians who have saved lives, fellow Nigerians who are so honest in terms of protecting the sanctity of minority within their communities. These are the people I want to see that will turn the tides of saying reward for good virtue.
I believe government will be doing that. So there's a place in Pakistan. There's a church there which was built by the colonial masters, and there is no single Christian there, but a particular group of Muslims, they are maintaining that church. Anybody that comes that's not a Muslim, they will take him there, go and worship there. With pride also, my grandfather was the one who was taking care of the money of Anglican Church in Odeomu. When they were building that church, it was
in Osun State.
In Osun State. It was my grandfather. They used, after each church service, they bring money to him. He was the one that used to keep the money. I used to collect from them. It's not a story that I was not there. And I'm having pictorial view as I'm talking to you, how they used to bring the money, how we used to put it under our grandfather. Then he was the chief imam of Odeomu.
Where we miss it is materialism has come in, unhealthy rivalry within us religious leaders. We have to drop that.
I think you have gotten it. Unhealthy rivalry. That is where the problem lies. Whatever you want to be the one in control, the Muslim wants to be in the control, the Christian want to be in control. And if they are in control, it's not that they will be just.
No.
It is just for themselves, for themselves, for themselves. And if truly you are worshiping is for God, it will be like this. We might not take more than this for today. I will thank you for being part of this. I know you are coming back very soon, because we need to discuss more about this plateau issue. And I believe by God's grace, God in His infinite mercy.
And I feel one of the last things I will say is that we will have to continue praying.
We have to continue
ceaseless praying.
By
for
God's
not only
grace.
for healing plateau and healing all part of Nigeria, Katsina, Zamfara, Kaduna,
all, not only
Kaduna,
that.
And my beautiful Kaduna, who have been ransacked now. And your Kaduna, of course, and your Kachia local government.
May God save us in this country. May
Amen.
God in His infinite kind continue to protect us, give us tranquility, give us peace, so that we will be there, because the entire black nation is looking at us, Nigeria. The entire black world is waiting for us. God, the leadership position that has given us, He will not take it from us. Until when we meet next week, I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And I want to thank you also out there that thank you for being there. Until when we meet again, I am Imam Fuad Adeyemi saying bye-bye.
We want to talk about rights, there are obligations. I'm not saying that this government is a saint, it's very far from it. But there are things that we can do to make it better, and that's the challenge I'm throwing to you. You don't want to build this nation? I don't know where else you want to go. If I had a choice, I'll come back. When I stand outside and I hear what you have to say about this country that I know that I can die for as one, then I'm really sad, because you're young. You have education. You have tools. You have a huge future ahead of you. And you're condemning yourself before you started on that journey. So please don't do that. Please don't.
Nigeria, a land blessed with rich and diverse cultural heritage. In Nigeria, culture is reflected in all aspects of our lives: language, dance, food, and music. Today, the country has over 521 languages and over 250 dialects and ethnic groups. However, the top 3 largest and most widely known being Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo. Although they might appear as different entities, they're all part of a single unit called Nigeria. With culture being a way of life of the people, it is necessary that we celebrate our diverse cultural heritage, not minding our differences. Nigeria is often described as a country of unity in diversity. This description probably stems from the fact the country is made up of over 400 linguistic groups. The onus therefore lies on us to evolve strategies of harmonizing the rich cultural heritage that abound in Nigeria to avoid erosion of the cultures and traditions of about 250 ethnic nationalities in Nigeria.
Welcome to Abuja, the place that unites Nigeria.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Hello and welcome to the maiden episode of The Last Mile with NACA, a public enlightenment and sensitization series by the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA. I am Adesuwa Osui. Why and when was NACA created? What is its mandate? What are the strategies deployed in the push for the last mile in ending HIV deaths and new transmissions by the year 2030? The answers to these questions and more in just a moment. Don't go away.
The human immunodeficiency virus and acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, HIV and AIDS, has existed in Nigeria for over 30 years. The two index cases were discovered in 1985. In response to the devastating effect on both Nigeria's health and socio-economic status, the federal government set up the National Action Committee on AIDS in the year 2000. The National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, was later established under an Act of Parliament on February 22, 2007, to coordinate the various HIV and AIDS interventions in the country. With the leadership of exceptional personalities with impeccable track records as its Directors General, the agency has ensured that the national HIV response has approached its last mile. Currently at the helm of affairs is Dr. Gambo Gumel Aliu, a world-class epidemiologist and a public health specialist. Before his appointment to head NACA, Dr. Aliu served as country director for the University of Maryland programs in Nigeria and assistant professor in epidemiology and public health at the University of Maryland School of Medicine. He was among the first Nigerians to receive in-depth trainings on establishing antiretroviral and the prevention of mother-to-child transmission centers of excellence. Over the last 15 years, he was vastly involved in HIV research and program evaluations to support decision-making. In 2005, he co-pioneered mobile HIV testing service delivery to key affected populations in the process of implementing an HIV seroconversion study in Nigeria. In 2017, he evaluated two national HIV treatment program strategies, Test and Start and Community Antiretroviral Therapy, critical to scale up of antiretroviral treatment for achievement of sustainable HIV epidemic control. He spearheaded the world's largest HIV population-based survey, Nigeria HIV and AIDS Indicator and Impact Survey, NAIS, which helped Nigeria to know the true status of the epidemic and impact of HIV services delivered in the last 15 years. Among other purposes, NACA's mandates are to coordinate and facilitate the mobilization of resources by all sectors and at all levels for an effective and sustainable response to HIV and AIDS in Nigeria.
NACA was established in 2007 solely to coordinate the national response for the control of HIV/AIDS. And this national response is a multi-sectoral in nature. What do I mean? This response involves different ministries. It involves Ministry of Health that focus on treatment. It involves, let's say, Ministry of Defense that has an entire program, that is a replica to what we have in the general public. It involves Ministry of Education that has this body mass of students all over the country. It has Ministry of Youth and Sport in it. It has Ministry of Women Affairs. It has all other agencies that have individuals or communities or population groups that are at risk. And when you take of youth and sport, they are very integral part of HIV prevention and control. So what NACA does is NACA coordinates all activities that are taking place in this and accounts for virtually everything that is happening in terms of prevention and treatment that is needed to control HIV in the country.
Dr. Gambo Aliu's leadership style has greatly impacted NACA's culture, structure, and strategy in just a short time in office.
When I came, I made it clear that I have two goals. One is to control the epidemic, and two is to provide infrastructure for sustainability. I'm happy to say on the side of the control, we have recorded tremendous success, and we are looking at a year from now, or a maximum 18 months, to reach that bridge, to say that HIV transmission is controlled in Nigeria. On the second part, providing infrastructure, when I came up, I had one office that we have here in Abuja. But now we have 7 offices all over the country. We have an office in each of the 6 geopolitical zones. That helps us to come closer to the community. That helps us to go closer to the grassroots to see what the development partners are doing in terms of helping us to control the epidemic, to see what other stakeholders in this multi-sectoral response are doing, to monitor and evaluate activities that are taking place by implementing partners at the grassroots, and to make sure our programs are adding and in terms of strength, are given us strength, not duplicating each other, in terms of our implementation.
With his epidemiology background and a passion for data-driven implementation of the national response, Dr. Aliyu facilitated the creation of a central data repository for all HIV management in the country.
The importance of the repository is to help us monitor and evaluate. Before, we don't have means to monitor and evaluate. If I sit down here, I don't know what is happening in Taraba. I may not know what is happening in Abia. I may not know what is happening in Kano and other places in terms of how many people are taking treatment in what facilities and how these people are doing. But as I sit today, I can look into a system to know how many treatment facilities do we have, for instance, in Kano, and how many people do they have on treatment, whether these people are still on treatment or have dropped out of treatment. If they are still on treatment, how well are they doing in terms of making sure that this virus is controlled within them? Another thing we have done is that we've changed the way we do business here. We're now getting drugs at rates that are way cheaper than we have them before. When I came on board, we were buying drugs at a rate of $13 per patient per month. Now we are buying at a rate of $7 per patient per month. And we were buying test kits at the rate of almost $3 per test. Now we are buying test kits at a rate of less than $1.85. So we have done so well, in making good use of the little resources we have, and we have done so well in working with our development partners to make sure we are all out everywhere, and we focus our attention where we think HIV is spreading fast and HIV is identified more, to make sure we get people that have the disease, place them on treatment.
Currently, statistics show that NACA has done exceedingly well for the last mile push.
The last mile is saying that we are in the last lap of the race to control HIV and to make sure we move at the same pace or at the faster pace with the global community. When this marching order was given by the president for NACA to push for the last mile, we have done a tremendous job. When this marching order was given, I think we have about 800,000 people on treatment. Today, less than 3 years from that marching order, we have doubled the number. We have about 1.6 million people on treatment, and we are counting. And that has been a phenomenal job because we've done something that no other country in that respect has done in the world, identifying almost 350,000 people within a span of a year and a half or less and placing them on treatment. No country has ever done that. And we did that despite COVID-19.
Despite successes recorded, a lot more needs to be done by way of shared responsibility and accountability, responsible implementation, and stronger partnerships. But the National Agency for the Control of AIDS is not sitting on its oars, with an even stronger resolve as it pushes for the last mile.
What we want people to know is that there is an act against HIV stigma and discrimination. And the act has two components. There is the jail component, there is the fine component of it. So it can be both, actually, depending on the gravity. People with HIV live normal life. They work as productive as any member of the community. And among them are intelligent people, hardworking people. Why should we discriminate against them? If we stigmatize people and we discriminate, it puts them away from our hospitals. It prevents them from coming to our facility to know their status. It prevents them from coming to our facilities
to take these medications that are very helpful. So stigma is a number one enemy for us in fighting HIV disease and in controlling HIV disease. And we will be all out against it.
The update segment brings you the activities of the agency across the country and the globe. Keep watching.
The Namibian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Humphrey Gaisab, was recently at the NACA headquarters in Abuja on a courtesy visit. Speaking on the purpose for the visit, Humphrey Gaisab commended Nigeria's excellent response to HIV, which he described as one of the best in the world, and that his country is willing to learn the Nigerian HIV and AIDS elimination example.
We in Namibia are encouraged by your achievements, and definitely many Africans in this great continent look at Nigeria as the window of Africa to the world. What happens in Nigeria matters to the continent. What achievements Nigeria is registering in the area of HIV/AIDS will be an encouragement to the rest of the men and women in this continent who are working on eradicating HIV/AIDS. So continue the good work and tell the story of what you are doing. We Africans are not good at storytelling. We are good in the village when we sit around the fire. But to tell the good stories of our agencies, we are sometimes not excelling.
Welcoming the Namibian High Commissioner, the Director General, NACA, Dr. Gambo Aliu, opined that the building block to ending AIDS is in the prevention of mother-to-child transmission of HIV. The Director General also expressed Nigeria's readiness to collaborate with Namibia. HIV and AIDS is still a major problem that the world is facing. However, effective HIV prevention interventions have proven to reduce transmission. The National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, recently celebrated 14 years as an agency. The occasion, dubbed the National Response Stewardship Day, provides a platform for reflection and future projection for ending HIV and AIDS as a public health emergency in Nigeria by 2030. In attendance were many dignitaries, including the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Country Director, UNAIDS, representatives of implementing partners and civil society organizations and other relevant stakeholders.
I just rushed out of a meeting with my colleagues and I asked all of them, please tell me what is the most important thing that comes to mind when you think of NACA at 14 years of age. Dr. Gambo, they say that NACA represents the face of the response for HIV in Nigeria. It's undisputed. The face of the response of HIV in Nigeria is what NACA represents. They say to me that NACA provides very clear national leadership on strategic issues concerning HIV. And they say to me that NACA has been effective in the decentralization and ownership of the response at the state level.
Thank you. If not for the policy, National HIV/AIDS policy, National HIV/AIDS strategic framework first, and then the plan, people will probably be drawing money from different sources all over the world, doing whatever they like in the corner of their rooms. But with that vision, from NACA leadership, it set the tone for what should be done, how it should be done, by who, at what level, and what result, more importantly, what result do we expect to see? So I think we need to applaud NACA for that. And also, very importantly, you can't do anything without capacity. I think one of the key benefits we've gained from NACA as a country with regards to response, even beyond HIV response, health system strengthening, is capacity that NACA has institutionalized all over the country. So on that note, I want to appreciate NACA once again and commit that from CCM perspective, we will constantly and regularly partner with NACA beyond what we are doing at the moment to also include other areas that will come up, as we move forward.
Today, HIV is like any other chronic disease.
And all of this is due to the collective efforts of NACA, the leadership of NACA, providing leadership in policy direction, capacity building, and also strategically positioning different dramatics personnel to ensure not only prevention programs, but also treatment programs. Congratulations.
As an implementing partner, we've truly enjoyed the leadership, the policy direction that NACA provided over the years, particularly the ability to keep scaling so that even at the different stage of the epidemic, we have a body that has truly responded to the peculiar needs of civil society and implementing partners. So for this, I congratulate you. I think just to say, we are truly excited. This is just 14 years, and we look forward to the years ahead, even as we continue to count on the very strong leadership of NACA to frame the policy direction that will finally take us to end this epidemic. But more importantly, to sustain the gains we've made. And I can see some really exciting discussions already in place. So congratulations for the journey so far, for the great success recorded, and to say we are truly proud to be associated with NACA.
In 2007, we started with a prevalence of about 4.6%, estimated people living with HIV/AIDS of about 3 million, and then we had only 200,000 on treatment. We had only 251 treatment sites, and our prevention curricula and mechanism, was not really fully developed. If you look here carefully, you will see between 2007 and 2017, we have added net on treatment about 625,000 people. But if you look at what was added in the last 4 years in this administration, between 2017 to 2020, we have added almost the same number we have added 10 years before that time. So this is the game change. And this is what the energy the NAIS brought about. This is what the energy, the political commitment, and the leadership we have had in this administration has brought to bear, on HIV. This slide didn't come from me. I didn't make this slide. This slide is from United States government. What this slide says is that among all PEPFAR-supported countries in the world, Nigeria has the greatest yield in the last fiscal year, between September 2019 to October 2020. And this makes Nigeria the highest country with highest net new in PEPFAR history. And this is what is capturing the attention of the world. Despite COVID, despite the upset we have from COVID, Nigeria has rebounded, and Nigeria has rebounded strong, and Nigerian HIV is now leading the world.
Thank you. In the last 14 years, I make bold to say that this agency has achieved so much in its mission to the admiration of government and partners. With the onset of COVID-19, the NACA model has worked well in demonstrating resilience and mitigating its impact on the country. Through very strategic and favorable policies of government, millions of people now have access to ARVs, and global targets for prevention, testing, and treatment are being met. The present government of President Muhammadu Buhari has continued to make resources available through NACA to sustain this momentum. This includes the commitment to have additional 50,000 Nigerians placed on treatment each year, feat no past government in this country has achieved. Be assured the government will continue to do more, as it has faith in the diligent commitment, accountability, and transparency of the management in the agency. The Director General and other management staff, I look forward to your continued leadership as you guide NACA to the next phase of history.
The National Response Stewardship Day was highly successful.
A major challenge facing HIV control in Nigeria is the growing number of people living with the virus but are yet to learn about their HIV status due to fear of stigma and discrimination. HIV self-test kits is a simple, effective, and quicker way of learning about your HIV status in the privacy of your home. The test can be performed using saliva by rubbing the outer part of your upper gum, followed by the outer part of your lower gum with a flat pad, and then dipping the flat pad into a buffer tube to wait for 20 minutes for the result to read. For more information, contact our call center at 6222 or NACA's website. Our services are available to you Monday to Friday every week.
For more information on HIV and AIDS and related diseases, or to report suspected cases of stigma and discrimination, violence and human rights violation, please call the National Call Center, toll-free on 6222. Reach us via social media at National Call Center or email callcenter@naca.gov.ng and visit our website on naca.gov.ng. As you must have learned, Nigeria has done tremendously well in the fight against HIV through the efforts of NACA. Support the HIV response, avoid indiscriminate sex, do not stigmatize or discriminate people living with the virus, and lastly, know your status and take action. Till next week on The Last Mile with NACA, I am Adesiwa Osuyi. Goodbye.
We are in Itoku, Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, the home of the popular Adire fabric. Nigerian culture is multi-ethnic and gives a lot of value of different types of arts, which include glass and metal work, painting, wood carving, and clothes weaving, to mention but a few. But among all these forms of arts, Adire is the most common among the people